We're seconds away to kickoff at the Steel City. Yes, it's Baltimore and Pittsburgh. As someone once wrote, the Steelers and Ravens, they don't meet, they collide. And yes, this great rivalry is about to meet for the first time this year. These two, they'll be meeting week 18 as well. This was moments ago. A fired up Ben Roethlisberger with reports swirling this will be his final season as a Steeler, running out on that field, looking energized. Tony, here we go.
Ooh, if I was a Pittsburgh Steeler fan right now, I'd be excited. A lot of criticism, really, for both these quarterbacks coming in. Ben Roethlisberger felt it coming into this, and you could tell in his eyes, he's bringing it tonight. He's going to stand in there. He wants this one bad. Division rivalry, here we go.
Here we go. The Ravens coming into the weekend, the top seed in the AFC. And here is the return from the goal line. Duvernay taken out of bounds after the Boswell kickoff. And let's bring out Lamar Jackson and the Ravens coming off a win against Cleveland last Sunday night. It wasn't pretty. 4 picks for Lamar Jackson, as he said, has been on his mind all week long. The whole week he's been mad, ready to get back to playing Lamar ball. He said, I just let it marinate, my performance last week, the career high 4 picks. But he's ready to go now against the rivals, and first snap from the 25. Going to dump it off for the completion to Freeman, and Devontae Freeman picks up a quick 15. Schobert shoves him out. Give him 14, actually. They spotted at the 39. The Ravens coming in at 8-3, sitting atop not only the AFC North, but the entire AFC as the 1 seed. But my gosh, how fickle this year has been as they go to the ground with Freeman. And he's shoved back by Hayward after a pickup of just a yard. Freeman, who's now assumed the lead role at the running back position, which has been a tumultuous position with injuries for Baltimore this year. And we'd like to welcome the full nation to Pittsburgh. We're 2 plays into the game. The Ravens receiving the opening kick after Pittsburgh deferred. Jim Nantz and Tony Romo and Tracy Wolfson on hand here. 2nd and 9. Jackson with a 14-yard completion to Freeman. A 1-yard run by Freeman on 2nd and 9. He's going to keep it, and he's going to go right through that Pittsburgh defense to the 48 of the Steelers. Sutton finally finishes it off, but it's a 12-yard scramble for Lamar Jackson.
Pressure from the right-hand side. You're going to see him come flying in. And all of a sudden, 93, nope. Lamar Jackson says, I got speed. Nope, you either. By the end of this, he looked like he did in his prime. He's in his prime, isn't he? I mean,
it's just his 4th year, yeah.
It just feels like he's
all
been
those
around
years ago when he was in his prime.
MVP, way back then, right?
Way back when.
Yes. Both these quarterbacks have a ton of weight on their shoulders going into this game. We know how big this is. I think this is the Steelers' last stand right here. Jim, I think if they lose today, I don't think the Steelers make the playoffs this year. Can they? Yes, but I don't think they will. We'll see.
They're at 5-1 on the season. There's Freeman cutting back. What a nice move. Finally, a Steeler gets a hand on him. And not until he picks up a gain of 5. Tony, let's take a look at this Ravens offense, the lineup here. And of course, you got Villanueva at left tackle, the longtime Steeler left tackle, coming over by way of free agency.
And this is a huge focal point, right? I mean, you see some of the other guys running back. It's been a crazy year, these other positions, but this offensive line is the engine that drives this system. You have great runners, right? Lamar Jackson, you had a bunch of guys. A lot of them are out. You still got Lamar, but those guys up there, if they can get people who are healthy and be there throughout a year, they're always going to be tough. The system is great, and that should be a penalty, Jim.
Duvernay gets the handoff and picks up the first down. There is a flag on the far side at the line of scrimmage. Scott Novak and crew on hand here.
2 guys were in motion.
Legal shift on the offense. Number 85 and 13 were moving at the same time and did not reset. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Duvernay and Eric Tomlinson, who was the 2nd tight end, got crossed on that. So now let's talk about this Pittsburgh defense of Keith Butler that has given up 41 points, Tony, each of the last 2 weeks.
We talked about it going into this game. This is one of those games late in the year. Pittsburgh has always stood up, and they've shown up. And right now, it's like that time of year. You're in Pittsburgh. This defense, you've been able to just sit there and say, we can ride them. Today is that day, though, Jim. Custer's last stand. This needs to be it right here. They need to show up.
Here's a 2nd and 10. From the pocket, pass, juggled and trapped at the last moment. Can't count it as a drop. It's a great play by Andrews to try to bring it in. And with a big old chunk of sod stuck in his face mask, he heads back to the huddle after the incompletion.
It's an outstanding job by Bush undercutting the linebacker. The ball is perfectly thrown where Bush can't hit it, and Andrews almost makes a phenomenal catch.
He had one last week, a one-handed catch against the Browns, a big one on a desperation heave by Lamar. And now you got a 3rd and 10.
Feels like we're into another season, right? This is now playoff time. It just feels like it. You can feel it in here. Coming into the stadium today. Ooh.
December football. 3rd and 10. Jackson completes it. Murray, first down and out of bounds at the 32. Gain of 16. We're talking about Andrews and those catches he's made in recent weeks. We saw it at Chicago, that one-handed grab. But even top last week, there was an interference call against Harrison of the Browns there, but he still was able to reel it in.
Yeah, he's a rare talent. I'll show you. 2nd in the league in a ton of categories. Kind of unknown, but not really, right? Guys in football know he's a great blocker. I mean, it's not random. Ozzie Newsome, one of the great tight ends of all time.
Yep.
He always got good tight ends here. I think you can evaluate him pretty good.
No question, though, he is elite. 2 completions, both going to running backs as Jackson firing again. And the pass is knocked down.
He's looking down the field, and right there, what an unbelievable job by Adams. That was like a spin twirl, block it from behind. Those are key plays for these Steelers, though. They need to get in obvious passing downs. Baltimore, if they stay in phase, get 3, 4, 5, 6, you're always in trouble. At least when you think they're going to go ahead and pass, you have a better chance. But they'll probably still run here, Jim.
2nd and 10. They got Freeman at running back. He handled 3 of the first 4 plays. It comes back to him up the middle. And there's room, all kinds of room for Freeman, who's finally written down at the 13 by Minkah Fitzpatrick. Rips off a run of 19.
What a great play call. Greg Roman, one of the special coordinators in the league, especially in the run game. A lot of deception there, and then Freeman does the rest. Look at how big that hole was. And you see Freeman, I mean, he's got a bunch of guys in this backfield, Jim, that they're not quite what they used to be, right? But they're very smart, and they still do a great job. You see flashes of them like they used to be. Freeman showed it right there.
What we got?
First down from the 14. Lamar trying to get away, and they're able to pull him down. Pull him down. It was Wormley who got him.
Well, you'll see part of a sack is the coverage. And it's an outstanding job. Joe Hayden's not out there today, but a little late checking down. Your fullback was open on that one, but
Chris Wormley, 3.5 sacks now on the season. Drops him for a loss of 9. You're right, Joe Hayden absent for the 3rd consecutive game. One of the stars of that defense out with a foot sprain yet again this week. 2nd and 19. They drop him back at the 23. Ben waiting for his chance to get his game started. Oh, it's a wayward snap, and Jackson scoops it up and runs to midfield. And now we got whistles.
wow, why is there whistles?
It hit Ricard.
I don't understand what the whistle would be unless someone called a timeout.
Prior to the ball being snapped, delay game, offense,
How lucky.
5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
What a break for the Ravens. They'll lose 5 yards instead of losing like 25.
I mean, this is such a break. Watch the motion.
Watch you hit Ricard right there.
He's motioning across to go and help out on the other side and block. And when you lift your leg up, sometimes it takes a second, sometimes it comes up really quick. Just a poor job of timing that up. But that's what happens on the road. You don't want to do all these different motions and try and snap it on time on the road. At home, you can.
Ravens have been a slow starting team this year, but they're trying to do something on the first possession. But knocked back to a 2nd and 24. Time to throw. Able to get it to Murray. Picked up a big 3rd down conversion already in this game. And he takes it to the 10-yard line for a pickup of 18. Edmonds finally finished him off. Here's a Ravens team that has not had a first quarter touchdown in the last 5 games, and they are threatening at the 10.
You're going to see he's going to look through all the field. Lamar, this is growth as a quarterback. Every year he does it. Look down, next, boom, check down quickly. And the faster you can get it there with a little sidearm action there, the faster you can get it to him, the leverage, he has more time. But you see, I think that's also about the guys up front, Jim. They get him the time.
3rd and 6. They send Murray out of the backfield. Chasing after Lamar, throws it off his back foot, and he's intercepted in the end zone. He throws another pick. It's Minkah Fitzpatrick with the football.
Coming into this game, Lamar Jackson with 4 interceptions. He knew going into this game he hurt his football team a ton last week. He was prepared. He was ready not to do it again, Jim, but not the start he wanted. Feelings like last week are here again.
As we mentioned, it's been a struggle in the first quarter for the Ravens and for Lamar Jackson this season. He has not run nor thrown for a first quarter touchdown. There you see how it builds, 4, 6, and 7 over the last 3 quarters that he's responsible for.
Why?
It's a mystery. There's a lot of things that don't add up for an 8-3 record, which is, again, the best in the AFC. They have a -8 now turnover margin, which, how does that make any sense to be 5 games over 500 and you're -8 after that pick?
And they're the #1 seed in the conference, and you're -8?
Tell me how many times you've seen that. Yeah, it's been very strange.
It's probably only happened once or twice in the last 20 years, I bet. I mean, that's just rare.
So the 11-play drive produces no points, just the 11th takeaway this year for Pittsburgh. Now 2nd and 8. They go to Harris. Bouncing around through traffic, takes Queen with him, who's not 100%, and gets within a yard of the first. The rookie Najee Harris, he's got power. He's going to be a force for years in that Pittsburgh backfield. Got a left tackle for the Steelers injured. That's Dan Moore, and this is already a very thin offensive line with injuries, inexperience. We'll step aside.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by LLB. Be an outsider. Honda, the power of dreams. And by Crown Royal. Join us at kickoff with crown.com.
Dan Moore walked off the field directly to the blue tent. They bring in Zach Banner, put him at right. Okorafor moves from starting right tackle to left tackle, and it's a 3rd and 1 for the Steelers. Good straight play, they go Harris, and he tried to lunge forward. He's going to come up short. He got hit by Patrick Queen. First 3 plays for the Steelers. All 3 rushing plays by Harris, but they come up a yard short, and they will punt with Presley Harvin.
These are some of the plays that Queen, who's moved to the weak side linebackers, come up with, and those are huge plays, Jim. I mean, your ability to get off the field on some of these 3rd and shorts.
Here's Duvernay, who is the #1 punt returner in the NFL by average, 15 yards of return. By the way, B.J. Finney, their starting left guard for the Steelers, also just now, after that 3rd down play, limped off the field. Here's Harvin, the rookie from Georgia Tech.
Coming into this game, Baltimore's very difficult to run on, Jim. But you got to still try, right? But those situations you might have to.
That one's way out of bounds. We'll see how far up they move for the placement. And they'll go past the 30. My gosh. Wow. 32-yard line is where they have it. Again, welcome back to the Steel City. And Tony, you said it already for Pittsburgh. This game at 5-5-1. It's not do or die, but it's pretty close.
It's really close because if you look at the whole AFC, how many teams are over 500 right now? Like 11?
You had 12 coming into the week at 500 or better, which is crazy.
And a lot of them are going to play each other going forward. So you've got division titles on both sides, division games, and so you're going to knock each other. But you have to win your home games. If you lose at home against other teams in the playoff, you're just going to come down to the end and be like, oh, we're one game out. I really look at it, this is Pittsburgh's game right here. They have to have this, Jim. This is the home game. They play these guys again on the road. It's like, if you do split this, okay. But you can't lose both of them, and you can't lose your home games coming in.
After a 39-yard punt, second series coming up for Lamar Jackson and company. And here's a handoff to McCrary, who they just brought up off the practice squad, Nate McCrary. And he's dropped for a loss of 1. And we've got an update. JB and Boomer, take it away.
Seattle needed a jolt, and this is it. Their offense went 3 and out, and somebody in the Seattle film room was studying tape and saw a vulnerability by the 49ers, took advantage of it. This is Travis Homer. He's going to go 73 yards for the fake punt return for a touchdown. Seattle takes a 7-0 lead over the 49ers. Back to Jim and Tony.
Was that play to perfection? 2nd and 11. And Jackson finds Andrews, who drops it. A rare miscue by Mark Andrews.
That is rare. You can watch this over and over again every week and never see this come up. It just one of those times you're trying to get the ball to you quickly, right? It's like you turn around a little bit, you're like, get here, hurry up, I gotta go.
Now you got a 3rd and 11. They did convert on a 3rd and 10 on their first series. 6 DBs into the game for the Steelers.
One of these guys is going to spy right here. Go up there, wait for him.
Sight on it to Hollywood Brown, and he's wrapped up at the line of scrimmage by Justin Lane, and they will take the Ravens off the field in a hurry.
Well, this was a screen pass basically to the wide receiver where he's supposed to continue running inside. Brown ended up stopping, should have continued on. They expected pressure out of Pittsburgh, didn't come.
Ray McLeod back awaiting the punt. Sam Cook. McLeod, who missed last week in the game at Cincinnati, out on the COVID list. Glad to have him back. Here's the 16-year vet. Always delivers. Back to the 13. Not a lot of hang time, so maybe some running room here for McLeod. Gets past a number of Ravens. And he's tackled down at the 27. 55-yard punt. 13-yard run back. Tomlinson with the special teams tackle. We're scoreless in the first in Pittsburgh. Coming out now for the Steelers' second series of this game.
Hey, Titan, 54 is the big Titan.
Having gone 0-2-1 in their last 3. That coming on the heels of a 4-game win streak. Roethlisberger from the gun. Starts it out with a quick toss. Harris twisted down after a pickup of about 4. Roethlisberger, 3 months shy from 40. If you just joined us, I know part of the nation joined us late. Tony, there's been a lot of reports swirling, reported that this will be the last season for Roethlisberger in a Pittsburgh uniform and possibly his last season overall. We don't know that, but here he is. He's a prideful man. He's had a lot of criticism, as the whole team has, coming into this week. And you feel ready to respond today.
We saw him come out here. He's very aware.
As Harris runs it out for a gain of another 4.
Of all that criticism that's out there, right? I mean, go ahead, send it to Trey. She's got a little something on that, Jim.
Well, actually, you're right. The cohesiveness of this Steelers offensive line has been in flux, and right now they are without their left guard, B.J. Finney. He's in the locker room. He is out with a back injury, guys. That means John Legler takes over from him.
3rd and 2, looking for a first down. They're going long. Claypool able to just get a fingertip on it. Averett on the coverage, and again, 3 and out for Pittsburgh.
So close, very aggressive. 3rd and 2, taking a shot. And the ball was within inches of being perfect. And those sometimes are the different, the small little plays that make the difference.
Talking to Ben about his offensive line with all the injuries, he was telling us on Friday, he says, I don't even know, like when we come to practice, we got practice squad guys, we have guys not even sure who's going to be up for the game. So many people shuttling around, it's hard to get a healthy 5.
Yeah, and they weren't exactly lighting it up originally. Wow.
Oh, is that still in? Inside the pylon? Yes, it is. Oh, that is perfection. 64 yards for Presley Harvin. My goodness.
I feel like they just threw a touchdown. I mean, this place just went crazy.
Look at this. Ideal.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Best Buy and by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
So the NFL's #1 third down defense, the Ravens, have stopped Pittsburgh twice on 3rd and short. But the Harvin punt out of bounds inside the 1. And here we go. Drive number 3 of the game for Baltimore.
These are big plays. This is where Pittsburgh somehow does something, don't they, Jim?
They get it over to Ricard. The fullback runs over one defender and gets near a first down.
Well, Lamar starting off this game, you'll see just a couple, had to move around, gotten sacked more times this year than any other in his career, but here's the one thing, the turnover, right? Well, this is a hot route. Throw it right here in the middle. He's wide open. But instead, he goes back off his back foot, throws the ball up and gives it to the Steelers. Those are the kind of plays he knows he can't make for this team to continue to be successful, but they've gotten away with it this year. But you see that last play on first down, though, Jim? That's a microcosm. This Steeler team, you know, they're going to tackle you for 4 there, right? Just too much of that this year so far.
It's a 2nd and 1. Freeman picks up the first in a gain of about 3, wrestled down by Fitzpatrick.
Can they stand up and impose their will like they used to? Can they do that? Is that team still? Because that's been like that for 15, 20
They have so
years,
far in this game with the
years.
interception and a sack on that first drive that stopped that momentum that the Ravens had right out of the box.
You're right. The last few weeks we haven't seen it, right? It was like, where's that when it's getting away from you? It's like
a loss.
Coach put them in pads. Mike Tomlin put them in pads this week.
41 they gave up on a loss at the Chargers. 41 in the dreadful performance at Cincinnati last week. Swept by the Bengals this season. Here's the 1st and 10. Jackson still has it. And he loses his footing a little bit on the cut. And he knows he could have probably gotten a lot more than 5 out of it had he not.
This is all Lamar Jackson. You're going to see 56 come on the outside, Watt from the other side, and Highsmith makes a poor decision, like a lot of people do, and Lamar Jackson's right there. There was nothing there for Baltimore, and that was all Lamar.
There aren't many players in the league, maybe only Lamar Jackson, they can sometimes improvise and make 5 yards out of nothing consistently.
I agree, and that's why you have a hard time taking away what he's good at, right? But like the interception, he just needs to not turn the ball over. He can take a sack once in a while. That's okay. They're line, you know, all these things. They're not going to be great every year.
2nd and 5, and he's in trouble now. They got him for a 2nd sack. It's T.J. Watt. Watt, who was questionable all week on COVID protocol, and he cleared 2 passes, or 2 tests on Friday and Saturday. He's up, and he's got a sack.
Well, this is what we talk about, too many sacks this year. Part of this one is on Lamar. So watch right here. This is a hot route. He's coming free. Let the ball go right there. Throw it. But instead now, you try and make plays. And he can so many times, but that's where the game is. As he continues to develop, Jim, and get better, those are the plays that he won't have to create as much later on in his career.
He got a 3rd and 7. Trying to take advantage of the great punt and get Baltimore off the field. Change field position. Here's the pass dumped off. Andrews has the first down. Bulldozing again over a couple of defenders and getting that yardage needed for the first down. Gain of 9.
Unbelievable job. We talked about it. Lamar, look. Step up, check it down right away. And if you can get it out in front, he has the ability to use his leverage and get that extra yard or 2 at the end to move the chains.
Bring back in Latavius Murray in the final minute here of the first quarter.
Cool.
Only 6 plays run so far by the Steeler offense. Here's the handoff to Murray. Slicing through for another 4, maybe 3.
Shaping up to be a Baltimore-Pittsburgh December
Exactly what
game.
you'd expect. Would you expect a shootout here in the first quarter, folks?
My buddies asked me, what game you got this weekend? And I was like, Baltimore-Pittsburgh. And they go, 14-10.
Yeah.
Who's going to win? I was
Maybe.
like, we'll see.
Scoreless after 1. Baltimore and Pittsburgh. The rivalry continues for Harbaugh and Tomlin. and their teams. A lot on the line here. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Well, actually, the first scoreless matchup between these two through one quarter since 2008. Baltimore with 6 first downs. Steelers ran 6 plays in that first quarter.
That's shocking right there, isn't it?
Yeah.
You'd have thought this was the first time they'd scored in the first quarter.
Yeah, exactly.
You just know this.
You think that'd be the norm. Here's Jackson buying time on 2nd and 7. And again, can improvise and pick up a first. Takes a big hit right in the midsection as he's hit there by Witherspoon. Tracy, down to you.
Well, Jim, this is the 30th meeting between these two coaches. Tomlin leads the series 15-14, and John Harbaugh told us the goal at the end is to have the better record. We asked Mike Tomlin about their relationship, and he said it's certainly unique. Because of the rivalry, they will be tied together for life, whether they choose to be or not. Tomlin said when it comes to this rivalry, you think of names, you think of Bettis and Lewis and Suggs and Roethlisberger. You can definitely put Harbaugh and Tomlin on that list, guys.
Yeah, it is 3rd all-time, as you say. It's a good one. Oh, we got a flag here. And as Harbaugh pointed out to us last night.
False start. Offense, number 85. 5-yard penalty. First down.
He said, Tomlin and the Steelers swept me last year. I had a 1-game lead, and now I'm down 15-14. All time, you got Hollis and Lambeau. They met 49 times. You got Curley again, this time with Steve Owen, 31 games. This is 30, so week 18, they'll pull into a tie for 2nd when they meet again. 15-14, Tomlin leads. They've each won a Super Bowl. They both have strong ties back to the University of Cincinnati, and Rick Minter, the coach there, who gave them both a great opportunity earlier in their careers. Here's a 1st and 15, and it nearly intercepted. It was tipped. And Schobert, and then Edmonds tried to make a diving attempt at the ball, incomplete.
It's a run pass option. He decides to throw it, but just a little bit late. Because Braun was open early on that. The Ravens get away with one right there.
Well, I can recall 2 weeks ago, Cam Sutton on a deflection. Very similar to that, able to come up with the pick. Not this time, though, by Akello Witherspoon. It's a 2nd and 15. Watt drops back in coverage. Coming over here on Freeman. And against Witherspoon on the play. It'll set up 3rd down for the Ravens. 3rd and 6. Oh, they got a flag now. Comes out. You saw that at the end. Might have been some jawing going on. T.J. Watt in that area.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct on the defense, number 90. 15 yards to the dead ball spot, automatic, 1st down.
So they get Watt for unsportsmanlike conduct.
We'll see what he does right here.
I think it's right there.
Yeah, you can't do that. You're right in front of the ref. You're talking what the kids refer to as smack.
Smack.
It's talking trash,
something like that. You never.
The lingo just changes every decade.
You never did that.
No,
nor were you ever on the receiving end, I'm sure.
I talk softly,
Now,
sweetly.
the drive continues after it began at the 1-yard line, Tony. 1st down. Here's Freeman, backed up, loss of 3. Hayward never gave him anywhere to go. Tony, you mentioned the AFC playoff picture. 12 of the 16 AFC teams at 500 or better. You got the Ravens right now at 8-3 on top of things. New England next up for them, of course, is tomorrow night against Buffalo in Buffalo. Tennessee on a bye. Kansas City tonight, Sunday night against Denver. There you see the Bills. The Chargers with a big win over Cincinnati today, dropping the Bengals to a matching 7-5 with the Chargers.
I can tell you right now, it's a crazy year, but somehow at the end of this thing, the Chiefs might actually sneak their way up there and get this 1 seed. Now, this game is huge for Baltimore. They could really get, if they lose this, I think it's difficult with the way the schedule is presented going forward.
Andrews trying to fight through yet another missed tackle. And they finally finish him off after just a pickup of 2. It's going to be 3rd and 8. You know, we were sitting doing the math, saying, hey, maybe they'll go 3 and 2 the rest of the ways to watch Jackson throw it here. I mean, you could be talking, you're right, Kansas City has righted the ship on both sides of the football, and they could be right back in that one spot again when it's all said and done. But 11-6, you had a lot of teams you figured at the end of the year might be right there at 11-6.
Oh my gosh, I think that you're going to find that 9-8 is going to miss. 9-7-1, Steeler fans, that to me just barely misses. Steelers have to get to 10-6-1 to get in, I think.
Here's a 3rd and 10. Dancing around, finding Andrews. He needs help on the tackle. Look at Andrews. That is all Andrews keeping the drive going. First down. First you had Norwood on him, but they was not going to go down with any second effort denied. Look at this.
And that's what this rivalry is about, effort, right? It's about putting your big boy pants on, coming out here and saying, you know what? That extra effort, the ability to actually put your body on the line over and over again and take the hits. That's how you're going to win this game, and that's what's happening right now. The Ravens have done a great job possessing the ball to start this game. Wow.
Yeah, they're number 1 in the NFL, Tony, in time of possession. I mean, it's astonishing right now, the numbers. This Freeman trying to spin out of a tackle, but that's Schobert holding on, and it's a gain of 4.
Shows you how huge that 3rd and 1, the stop for the Ravens, they got on the first one for Pittsburgh. Then all of a sudden, Roethlisberger just misses on 3rd and 2, and before you know it, you've had the ball 2 minutes. They've had it for 15, 18 minutes.
But again, you punted after you took the shot deep with Claypool, and your punter knocks it inside the 1, and this possession right now has been 8 minutes and 40 seconds and counting.
This is that same possession?
Same possession.
No, that was a few possessions ago.
That was a couple of weeks ago, wasn't it?
All right, I'll trust you on this one.
Here's a 2nd and 6. Acting like he's going to run an option with Brown behind him. He keeps it, and he dives for 5 yards. Yeah, this has the makings of a drive that could take up pretty much a whole quarter's worth of action. Now over 9 minutes.
Talked about these coaches before. John Harbaugh, one of the great minds in the NFL. People always think you got to be a master of one trade, right? He's actually a jack of all of them. He knows offense, defense, special teams, and he can coach each of these coaches at it, and that's a huge bonus. Mike Tomlin the same way for Pittsburgh, and that's why these guys are always great, and they always need their team to stand up on 3rd and 1.
3rd and 1, flags first, and a whistle. And they're going to back him up to a 3rd and 6.
False start. Offense, number 75. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
So for Baltimore, it's 4th penalty. All have been pre-snap penalties. They're going to face 3rd down for the 6th time in this game. Every time has been 3rd and 6 or longer. They've converted 3 of them. They're going to bring in an extra lineman. Phillips. Freeman, the running back. Here's Jackson. Down the field to Andrews. Wide open. You know, we talked to Andrews yesterday, Tony, and talked about his strengths. And one of the things that you've noticed, he just has an ability to find space. And you saw it right here.
And you're going to see, watch this. Now pause it right here. This is awesome because he's going to go right here. This is a great job by Lamar of throwing it right before he actually gets open. And you talked about space. Andrews knows how to widen that gap and give it to you there.
Saw it right there.
That was a great job.
His third down conversion on this drive. And here's Freeman in for the touchdown. Folks, that's a 99-yard touchdown drive that took 10 minutes and 27 seconds.
And this is literally played out like the season for Baltimore. They're losing the turnover battle, and they're ahead 6-0 right now. What a drive. 92 yards,
How about 99 and a half?
99 and a half yards. Wow.
Devontae Freeman, his 4th rushing touchdown of the season. Touchdown number 5 overall. The running back room has just been a mess. They've had, by our count, 9 different players. When you add Ricard to that, all those injuries in preseason. As John Harbaugh said, they don't blink. They just adjust to what they have to do to fill that position. They found guys that have gotten the job done, like Freeman.
And I think he's getting better. I actually think he's actually getting like better shape, understand this offense, but they're dangerous, Jim.
How about that? It's the first 99-yard drive in the history of the series. The Ravens, 16 plays to cover it. Freeman finishes it off. Andrews a big part of it too.
Wow. Longest drive in the history of a series on Sundays in the national window.
That is
at
all
home,
time.
on the road.
Any hitch you want to put to it, any scenario, it's only happened that time.
Wow.
So this game kicked off about 70 minutes ago. Roethlisberger and the Steelers have run 6 plays. He's only had the occasion to throw 2 passes. And now McLeod tries to cut up the left side, and he is hammered down at 17. Let's take a look at Next Gen Stats, powered by AWS.
Well, one of the things that Pittsburgh does a lot of is throw go routes outside the number. Watch here, outside the numbers, you see to your right, there's Claypool. We've already seen it once today on 3rd and 2, and they just missed it, but they do it a ton. More than any other quarterback, 12 more in the last 2 years. And this is one of the keys to the game. Do they complete these, Jim, or do they not? If they complete them, they will probably win today. If they don't, they will probably lose. So we don't even have to run other plays now. We can just go throw like 5 of them and see what happens.
Well, they've only run 6, so they need to do something to keep their defense off the field and rested for a little bit. Still looking for a first down as they get it over to Harrison. There is a first down. Into the secondary and out to the 37, pick up at 19.
Well, then number 2 thing they do other than go routes, screen routes. And excellent job here. Throw it 1 step up.
Watch 65 here, Tony. Remember he got shaken up earlier? That's more getting the block on Bowser to help open that up.
Yeah, that was the key right there. Good call, Jim. And Bowser's been playing really well.
What a game he had last Sunday night.
A57, A6.
2 tight ends.
A6.
First down at the 36.
Ace, you good. Blue 20. Blue 20.
He's going along for Deontay Johnson. Oh, he got hammered on the sideline.
Well, that's got to be a penalty, right? You can hear it up here.
There's no flag. That was Chuck Clark who decked him, flattened him.
You could hear it. Way up here, you could hear it clear as day. Well, maybe it was. It looked clean right there, didn't it, Jim? Ooh, that's really close. Ooh, wow, that's such a wicked hit. Right
Well,
there.
the thing is, you wonder at first, is he even going to be able to get up from that?
Yeah.
2nd down and 10.
And that was a go route. You see it right there. It was just cover 2. This the safety got over there. Dicey throw there.
Blue 80. Blue 80.
Harris. 3 Ravens on him for a loss of 2. Gene Steratore, that previous play, should that have been a flag?
You know, it's not a hit on a defenseless receiver because it's not in the head or neck area, Jim, but unnecessary roughness because that ball is so far uncatchable and the players are breaking down. I would support a foul for unnecessary roughness on the hit.
Okay, thank you, Gene. He'll call May 3rd and 11.
Lenny. Jumping.
Go, go, go.
Roethlisberger stands in the pocket, goes to McLeod underneath, shakes off a hit, but he's still going to come up about 3 or 4 yards short. Pickup of 7, and again, 1 first down, and it's over. And here it is one more time.
Yeah, that's.
Well, you know what it is?
It's just so close, right?
It typifies the Ravens-Steelers matchup. I can remember an AFC Championship game here years ago when Willis McGahee got hit like that. I mean, it was a bone cruncher. And yeah, this you see it like this all the time.
I mean, you can hear it up here. You saw Wink Martindale right a second ago, the coach, the Ravens, very excited that they got him off the field.
Here's Harbin. His punt's going to travel to the 15. Duvernay again leads the league in punt return average, and he scoots ahead after a 12-yard run back, 43-yard punt. Raven football. Baltimore up 7. They just went 99 yards. Got the football again.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Amazon, where you can find epic daily deals. Geico, you could save even more by bundling home and car insurance. And by Domino's, Get great deals on pizza, bread twists, chicken desserts, and more.
Sights from Market Square, right in the heart of downtown Pittsburgh. And now the Ravens break huddle. With 6 minutes to go in the first half, they've dominated time of possession. Duvernay tackled at the 30. Watt had pressure on him. Bush finished him off with the tackle.
Yeah, great job there by Lamar Jackson getting the ball off. But the running game has been the key so far. Watch this. We're going to pull these guys all the way over here. How cool. The misdirection. This is a handful to deal with. And you see old school triple option. Hand it to him. Nope. Keep it. You can run it or pitch it. Lamar keeps it. And if this continues right here, Jim, everything that's coming at you, Pittsburgh's front seven hasn't been what they've been in the past right now. Baltimore's really gaining confidence with this. This is when they're really hard to stop. We're going to see how this plays out, but it's not looking great right now for Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh's had trouble stopping the run as Jackson takes off and another good gainer for a first down. Yeah, this defense has given up 133 rush yards a game. That's the most the Steelers have allowed since 1965.
Wow.
And the average rush is almost 5 yards a carry, and that's the most since 1934. So it's been brutal.
I mean, let's give them 1 year off. I mean, no one wants to hear that as a Steeler fan, right? But it's like 1 year the Steelers could not be a dominant run defense, let's say. But right now, this is that game, and we keep talking about it. But they're going to hammer it right at you over and over again. You need the turnovers. You need somebody to do something special.
Here's Freeman. He's got another 5 or 6 yards. They gave up 165 to Mixon last week in that blowout loss to the Bengals. So they knew they had to stiffen up on this rush defense. But as you pointed out, Baltimore already 78 on the ground, 78 yards on just 15 attempts.
If they're going to turn it around, though, you have to stop the run, especially against teams who are going to run. And Baltimore has everything in their playbook when you don't. And like that run, they should have stopped that, right? It was too extended out and everything just didn't set the edge completely.
2nd and 4, and they toss it. Freeman, they've got him clamped this time, but we do have a flag. Chased out by Wormley. Have a seat.
Have a seat. Warmly, warm seat, have a seat.
Yeah.
Something there. Probably going to be on the Ravens.
Holding. Defense.
On the
number 57.
Steelers.
5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic. First down.
It's called on Montravius Adams, who they just picked up off the Saints practice squad recently. Someone that...
Well, watch 57 right here in the middle. Sometimes you hold people so your linebackers can run by and get. Yeah, that's not a hold to me. I understand you.
You know, we're seeing that call more often, Tony, now.
There is parts of it that's true, but that one specifically, no, that would be incorrect. I mean,
McCrary, the running back. Fake it to him. First down. Pocket collapsing, and for the 3rd time, they get to Jackson. And again, it's Wormley who gets to him. T.J. Watt in the area also. Loss of 9.
Well, this is a great job coming in. Watch right here. It's going to be a play action. Go ahead and pause this right now. Bam, 39. You're going to come in. He's actually going to go back and stop them from throwing the ball. Fitzpatrick right there to Andrews. And that's what made Lamar have to hold it that extra second. And Greg Roman is not happy. I still think he could have fit it in there, right, to Andrews if he throws a line shot in there.
Wormley there, 95 with 2 sacks in this first half. 3 for the Steeler defense. 2nd and 19. Brown. Hit by Watt at the 50. Another 3rd down coming up. They're 4 out of 6 on 3rd down. And again, most of them have been 6 yards plus.
Well, this keeps coming up in this game. They're going to pressure Lamar from the slot. He's got to keep throwing into that area. You pressure from there, throw it there. He gets it there eventually. He can do it a hair sooner. But that's going to come up a lot as this game goes on, Jim.
2:30 to go in the first half. Again, every 3rd down has been 6 yards plus. This is 3rd and 9. yet they've still converted at a high rate. There's a blitz. Jackson able to slip through it. And get to him again. Another sack. Hayward will get credit for it. That was Norwood who came up from the secondary that really broke the play apart. 21.
Well, that's the pressure we just talked about. They come off the slot. And we said, if they blitz off the slot, where should you throw it? Right where he came from, he tried to. And Lamar upset Pittsburgh with a big stop. Baltimore controlling the game. Jim, take us to commercial.
Well, it's 4 sacks plus a pick, but Baltimore leads it. 2 minutes to go in the first half.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Lowe's, official home improvement sponsor of the NFL, and by BetMGM, the king of sportsbook.
We got the Verizon halftime report coming up. JP and the crew will get you updated on the late afternoon games, including the Washington football team leading the Raiders 7-3. Just got a field goal right before the half by Las Vegas a moment ago. All that coming up, the Verizon halftime report. And that's McLeod getting walloped by Nick Moore, the long snapper, after a 45-yard punt. We'll be back in 30 seconds after this from Walmart. We're back, and can the Steelers do anything before the intermission? They've run 10 plays so far, picked up 1 first down.
Hey, we're gonna go 836, 836.
Claypool jumps up and grabs it with the body position on Marlon Humphrey and a pickup of 12.
I love that. That's when a team says they're going to throw go routes. You play a little high. It's a back shoulder, but it's still a go route. You're just throwing it back shoulder. They can do that every time they want, Jim.
First down, set up a screen. Harris. Young gets shoved aside, and Bowser is on Harris after a pickup of about 3. Steelers have all the timeouts.
Yep. Not using anything yet. Keep going. You got plenty of time if you're a Steeler fan. Baltimore, this is a huge play right here because you can get back and possibly get points at the end if you get an incompletion right here.
2nd and 7. Approaching a minute. Freiermuth runs over the tackler and gets to the 46th. And he has already established quite a fan base here in Pittsburgh, as you can hear. Gain of 17.
Roethlisberger's upset. One of the Baltimore defenders is down on the ground. So you got an injury timeout right here. Coming back in a second.
It's Brandon Stevens.
We'll be back in a second. Like I said, we're back. You're welcome.
Got to be careful when you throw it to commercial.
Those commercials sneak up on you.
We're going to keep it right here. So Pittsburgh deferred at the top, Tony. So if they can muster something here, don't forget to get the football to start the 3rd quarter.
And this is it. This is the biggest drive. I mean, every drive is huge now. This time of the year, it's like playoffs are on the line, games, series, everything. And
it's the first time they've had anything happen for them on the offensive side here. The pass to Freiermuth, the pass to Claypool.
And your defense has really done an outstanding job for everything. It's like now it's the offense's turn. Good start so far.
Why don't you take us to commercial after all?
I'll see you in a second, Jim. Goodbye, bye, everyone.
Ravens charged a timeout. They added 5 seconds to the clock, and Tony, you accurately predicted there would be a commercial break. Here's a 1st and 10 for the Steelers from the 46.
This guy, if he comes, you got to throw the ball outside right now. If he drops back, you have time.
It's back to Freiermuth. Delivers a forearm on Clark and gets out of bounds to stop it at 53 seconds.
Outstanding job by Roethlisberger getting all the way back over there.
Coming up again, the Verizon halftime report. JB, Phil, Nate, Boomer, Coach Cowher, all the scores and highlights. Coming up on the Verizon halftime report. Full review of the early games from today, including a big Charger victory at Cincinnati. Here's a 2nd and 5.
Lester, bring him in. You're going to block. You're going to slide out here. You're taking a look at that guy. If he comes, you throw it.
Here they come. Down the middle they go. First catch of the game for Deontay Johnson. And a timeout. The first for the Steelers. We'll be right back in 30 after this. You were extolling in that break about the way Roethlisberger has been throwing the football on this drive. 5 for 5 on this drive, Tony.
He's doing great, and this is it, right? Like, take the criticism all week and everything. Well, guess what you're going to have to do? All these guys are standing up here, Jim, so you're going to have pressure or no pressure every time. Right here, he's like, okay, you got him. If he blitzes, you go out there and turn around, but he's not coming here. You can take your time, Ben.
Going for the deep ball. Got a man open, and oh, Deontay Johnson had it. Would have been a touchdown. The pass was perfect.
I felt like I was watching like a Charlie Brown Christmas or something where everything was perfect, and it just was like, it's too good to be true. What a throw.
Just never got a clean play on it for some reason.
And Roethlisberger with a perfect protection change, the play call, and he knows he was 5 for 5 and should be 6 for 6 on this drive with a touchdown. But now you got to do it again if you're a Steeler fan. And this time after that happens, they all dropped out. I think one of these guys inside here are going to go up in there.
2nd and 10. Pump fake, and now throws it away. You know, Deontay Johnson last year, that's thrown over his head. He had issues with the drops. This year he's been having a really fine season. Roethlisberger gets hit after the throw here.
Yeah, and Queen blitzes up the middle, and that makes him have to step up. And
Calais Campbell.
Campbell's a veteran in this league, does a great job in the run game, and you see shows up in the pass game when they need him every once in a while.
Coming back from a concussion. We got a 3rd and 10. Field goal from here would be 53 yards. There's Wink Martindale. His team, #1 3rd down defense in the league.
Well, they put 8 guys up here. It's like you only have 7 guys to block. If he comes, you've got to throw this right now, Ben.
Oh, he got hammered. The ball is incomplete somehow. Looked like about 4 players had a hand on it. And it was Stone who impacted the throw with the hit on the quarterback.
Well, I circled and said, Ben, if he blitzes, you got to throw that when it's hard. But he waited too long. Stone, 26. Here he comes. That's why the ball, you can't double clutch. You see the first, he was getting ready to throw it. You just have to know in the back of your head, if that guy does come, the ball has to be out at this amount of time.
And now 53 yards, Boswell, who's 22 of 23 this year.
I'm giving Ben a touchdown pass for that drive. That was one of the more beautiful ones.
Should have been. Here's the kick from 53. Boswell, beautiful boot. It's good. With 27 seconds left in the 2nd quarter. It's a 7-3 game here in Pittsburgh. You're watching the NFL on CBS. So the Steelers start a drive at their own 13 and drive it down to a field goal from 53 yards out, as Ben is no doubt trying to figure out how that one throw, which was right in the hands of Deontay Johnson, did not go for a touchdown. But 7-3 game it is. Ravens see what they'll do with 27 seconds to go. Their points, of course, on that 99-yard touchdown drive that took over 10 minutes.
Ben not happy after that drive. He did everything right on that drive. So he's talking to the coach, saying, we need to do this. Guys got to get there. Tell these guys, all right, James? Otherwise, you're going in there and going to play for them on these. Something along that line.
Something like that. Okay, 27 seconds and going to the gun. Incomplete. Freeman was over there maybe waiting for it. Bateman made a diving attempt.
Yeah, I think what Ben was doing was that last 3rd down, Jim, when he double clutched. I think he knew the guy was coming on the left, 26 Stone, but I think the receiver didn't look because it was hot.
Here's talking to Dr. James Bradley. On the deep throw to Deontay Johnson, he was hit low after he released the pass. Tyus Bowser hit him, and he was limping a little bit on the sideline. Got a timeout called by the Steelers.
I thought there was probably a penalty on that play, actually.
By the way, time of possession, 6.5 minutes for Pittsburgh. That's the lowest in the first half under Tomlin. 6.5 minutes in the first 2 quarters. Handoff. Freeman up ahead to the 33. And he stopped the clock at 9 seconds.
What a half. Honestly, this was Baltimore controlled the line of scrimmage on third down, on the key downs on their defense, and they've done it on offense. But the turnover stopped Baltimore from getting one score. Pittsburgh had that drive at the end, but really, how many drives did they have, Jim? 3?
That's about it.
Four drives in the half, and 6 plays for 2 of them, so it's like, you know, they've only had 12 other plays, and I feel like Pittsburgh found a little something, though, right? Like, those drives can kind of shape you for the second half, and this one here, you got to be smart if you're Baltimore. Just come up, unless they give you some look where you could take a shot, but otherwise, you just hand this ball off and move along.
Now they go back to Freeman. And he's down at the 40. We got a marker back at the 30.
Holding, offense, number 78. 10-yard penalty, 3rd down.
This is always interesting because you can just decline it and go to the half. Why wouldn't you? Because
here's Villanueva,
yeah,
a longtime Steeler who was so excited about coming back
that
here.
was not a penalty either. There's been a few of them today.
He can't believe it either.
They miss him.
Back to the city where all 4 of his kids were born, where he got his MBA at Carnegie Mellon. Said the place has made a profound difference in his life. 103 career starts in a Pittsburgh uniform, back for the first time. And now maybe we can call it a half, Tony.
I don't ever understand why you don't down it there if you're going to hand it off, just so no one gets hurt, number one.
Yeah.
Someone could get rolled up on. Someone could get a fumble there for Baltimore.
And a scoop and score, you never know.
And then with the Steelers, they just want to be like, nope, we're not giving up that many yards. Go back there and do it again. You got too many yards on that play.
It's about what you might expect, folks. The end of the first half with Baltimore leading it 7-3. Halftime is next after these first half highlights from Verizon and a word from your local station. Stylistically, like it's always been, this rivalry, a lot of violent hits, low scoring, 7-3 lead. Ravens had 2 drives that lasted over 6.5 minutes, including a 10.5-minute touchdown drive. That's all I mentioned, 6.5. It's all the Steelers had it in the first half, but maybe they got a little spark before the intermission.
I think they did. I think they kind of figured out, like, okay, Claypool on this type of route, that little back shoulder I think is going to be huge in this second half because it gets the ball out of your hands quickly, but it's also very safe. And this team plays a lot of man coverage. But the key, to me, is going to be just like that one play. It's Johnson, the catch in the end zone or not. This game is going to come down to something like that. And one of these 2 teams is going to make it. The other one is not. And that team is going to win the Super Bowl.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, wait, no.
This is all
going to win today.
Got it. Okay.
And there it was. Ooh.
That's all that we have as far as the separation. And this team's being tied starting the 3rd, which we commence right now on a Tucker kick. To McLeod, who's going to get a chance to run it back from the 1. And he is leveled at the 20, and let's go back down to Tracy.
Well, Jim, the Steelers only had the ball for 6 minutes and 30 seconds, and Mike Tomlin said possession downs on both the offense and the defense are going to be key. He said it defines you in games like this. In terms of their defense, he said they cannot allow Lamar Jackson's legs to get the best of them. As for John Harbaugh, he told me they just need to calm down, avoid the pre-snap penalties, and he said Lamar must get the ball out quicker and get the ball downfield. That could help some. Jim?
Well, everything that they've done this year for the Ravens has been unconventional. We'll talk more about that in this half. The things that add up to a winning record is pretty amazing. You got a defense that's best in 3rd down, best in the red zone. That's a big part of it. Meanwhile, we'll see what the Steelers can do with that penalty going against them. Taken back to the 10. And a nice run. Ooh, drive starter for 6. Harris. You like what you saw there. You didn't get a chance to see much of that in the first half. Again, the disparity in time of possession, rush yards. Look at that, Tone.
That's one of the hardest things. Going into this game, it's like, you're not going to run the ball great against the Ravens. They're just too dominant against the run. I mean, you're going against, second in the league and, against the run. But you have to still do it, and you have to keep them honest. The way to do it, Jim, don't run into the big guys inside. Run into the littler guys on the outside. That was a toss in the last play. I want to see more of that.
They gave him 5. 2nd and 5.
Blue 30. Blue 30.
Go back to him, right up into the big guys. He's a big guy too. And he's going to be stopped a yard short. Campbell, Queen, they all deny him. It's like their first drive of the game. They had a 3rd and 1, and they stuffed Harris. Let's see if this time they're able to pick up the first down.
They're going to get up quickly. Snap the ball. He could throw it right here if he's one-on-one, or just hand it off.
First down it is.
Ben makes that decision at the line of scrimmage right there and does the correct one.
That's their first 3rd down conversion of this game. They had been 0 for 4. Yeah, let's see if they can continue what they had on that last drive of the first half, with Roethlisberger completing 5 throws.
56.
Had a 6th one dropped for a score. Freiermuth was a big part of it.
Blue
2
20.
catches.
Blue 20.
Here's a first down play and a blitz. One for the deep ball. And it is pulled in by McLeod. What a catch.
Well, we started the game, Jim. They're going to throw go routes outside the numbers. They do it a lot. If they catch them, they will win the game. If they don't catch them, they won't win the game. And that was very close. Ooh.
Boy, arms tangled the whole time, and he holds on for 30.
They should snap it. If you're a Steeler fan, I'd throw it if I was Harbaugh.
Yeah, there it is.
Humphrey with good coverage there. McLeod with possibly a great catch.
Baltimore is challenging the ruling on the field of a completed catch. Timeout.
That's going to be a control issue. It's close. Very close. Ruling on the field is his catch. They'll review it. The challenge issued by Harbaugh. They're walking back. Gene Steratore looks like, watching the players here, it's going to be ruled incomplete, and Baltimore will win the challenge. What did you think?
Yeah, it's extremely close, Jim. I know when the receiver lays out, he is firmly possessing the ball with 2 hands. He is going to the ground. And what you're looking at is the back nose of that football. When it contacts the ground, if there's a loss of control there.
The ball was loose, and it came loose in the receiver's hands. Incomplete. Every second down and 10 at the 21-yard line. Baltimore will not be charged a timeout.
2nd and 10. I've seen a lot of plays that were a lot less than that as far as the catch goes. That looked pretty good. It's close. But that ruling on the field was a catch. Indisputable, it has to be. And there you go. They say that's not a catch.
If you're a fan at home right now, I can only imagine, right? Like each of these calls that come up, whether it's a penalty, whether or not that's a catch, and each time you're like, you got to be kidding me if you're a Steeler fan. As a Baltimore fan, you're like, these are the right calls. What are you guys talking about?
That's the life of a fan. 2nd down and 10. Wipe out the 32 yards. Almost intercepted. As that was Clark jumping up in the air and nearly coming down with it. Now it's 3rd and 10, and this crowd is worked up.
Well, we talked to Roethlisberger this week, and he talked about their ability to get the hands up when they get blocked. Some of the rushers, the blitzers, you see 36. Once he gets blocked right there, Clark puts his hands up and should have intercepted it. It's really a good job by Okorafor, the old lineman, to put his hands in his chest so he couldn't come down.
It's 3rd and 10.
Lester.
Roethlisberger guns it down the middle. It's tipped and falls incomplete. Oh, they're going to throw a flag on Kendrick Green for slinging down Chuck Clark. That was Justin Houston who got a hand on, deflected it. You think this crowd was stirred a moment ago? Wait till they make this call.
Well, why are they throwing a penalty on Green? He tackled the guy who was running for a touchdown.
Because it was ruled incomplete and there were whistles going off and they were going to say it was after the play. It's what Novak's probably going to tell us.
That's not a penalty. If you throw a penalty, he's not trying to hurt him. He's tackling because literally Clark got the ball and started running for a touchdown as if the play was still going. I don't know. I guess you could go with intent there, but I don't think that was a penalty. We'll go back earlier on that.
After the play was over, personal foul, face mask.
Oh, face mask.
On the offense, number 53. That's a 15-yard penalty. The down counts. 4th down.
So there's a face mask in there.
That's okay, I guess.
And Green, the rookie center from Illinois, grins a bit, but he's not smiling.
Tomlin, one of the great coaches, right now frustration boiling over these last few weeks. And
the rookie takes a seat, the offense off the field, and now they'll ask the rookie punter to unload another big boot. Had that amazing 64-yard punt in the first half that went out at the 1.
This one's not going out at the 1.
I don't think so. In fact, it's barely going to make it to the 50. Hits right on the stripe. Duvernay. Good coverage by the Steelers back at the 42. Buddy Johnson down there after a 47-yard punt. Thumbs down, they say, to those calls. 7-3, Ravens lead it in the 3rd.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Harry and David. Don't miss out. Order now for Christmas delivery. Discover exceptionally common sense. And by Ram Trucks, Motor Trend's Truck of the Year for the 3rd year in a row.
Including the postseason, this is the 55th meeting between these two franchises. They've met 4 times in the postseason, all of them here in Pittsburgh. And here's Jackson flicking it complete to Watkins. And let's take a look at Next Gen Stats powered by AWS.
Well, in the first half, you see the Steelers' plan coming into this. We're going to blitz off the slot, and they're doing it a ton. And it's had a lot of success early in this game. And Lamar Jackson, he's been blitzed. Remember Miami? Everyone talked about the Dolphins. They had that plan. Now, they blitzed a ton of people and over, but this is the most the Steelers have blitzed this year, and they're having a lot of success with it, but that's why I keep showing you. Where they blitzed from, Jim? Like, if this guy comes, I want you to do something right back in that area. Throw it to someone.
Here's Freeman. Boy, he is clobbered after the handoff. Highsmith on him in a hurry, loss of 1. Freeman 11 carries, 45 yards, and the game's only touchdown. So this idea of blitzing that we saw the likes of Miami on that Thursday night game, a lot of teams starting to get results out of that, not just the Dolphins.
They are, because what's happening is it means you have to know exactly where the weak spots are quickly. So you have a guy who's like a fast guy, like that guy right there. I wonder, is he going to come? You want to bet your life, Jim?
He's coming. 2nd and 11. They pick him up. Look at the time he has to throw, and he throws it away. Great coverage downfield. By the way, T.J. Watt dropped back in the coverage as they try to cross him up with who was going after the quarterback.
Well, this is the adjustment. He's been coming free earlier in the game, but not this time. As you see, 33 sit there and wait on him. It's a good adjustment by the Ravens, because early in the game you had to get that out quickly. It's not like they're rushing 6-7 guys, but it's made Lamar have to play faster, like you were saying, Jim, and that's hurt him. That's why teams keep coming after him, especially on these type of situations.
3rd and 11. They've never had 3rd and anything closer than 6. Pass, Freeman, weaving. Oh, he got away! Picks up the 1st down. The Steelers sloppy tackling. They had him. And he picks up 15. Some nifty running by Devontae Freeman.
You see the chip up top. And then watch the juice from Freeman looking sprightly and young.
Yep, and Lane was on the ground, but still had an angle on him. He was able to get that burst and pick up the first down on 3rd and 11.
Wow, that was a huge play for the Ravens, and they were actually ready for the blitz. They had him pretending to block with like a chip, and then it was a screen to him, but they didn't blitz. Pittsburgh was right, but they were wrong.
Here's a handoff to Murray, and again they make a first down tackle for a loss. Then again it's Highsmith. Schobert cut off the angle initially, and that's a loss of a couple. 3rd and long doesn't seem to bother the Ravens too much all day long. They've had some huge conversions, none bigger than that last one.
A little un-Steeler-like, right? Not to be getting off the field on 3rd and longs consistently, but that's kind of what's happened a little bit.
On a field that was resodded this past week after a district championship game. 2nd and 12. Here's Jackson again trying to buy time. There's an open field over here. Look at him take off. He gets hammered from behind, but not until he picks up the first down. A 2nd and 11 conversion this time for the Ravens. Now inside the 20.
Well, this was exactly the adjustment, and this is why the Ravens are having success to start the second half. He doesn't look like he's coming, but he will be coming. So you have to move the protection. Slide it that way. Get over there, tackle. Good job. Villanueva goes and gets him, and that's been the difference where Jackson now has a lot of space. Steelers are now going to have to adjust because the Ravens have.
On this down, they take out both Hayward and Watt. Watt gives him a nod for that effort. Tuska has come in for Watt, number 48. Freeman returns to the backfield. Jackson keeps it. Dives ahead for 3. Lamar Jackson now 7 carries, 54 yards. To go with 158 yards passing. They've got 99 as a team on the ground.
You know, if you're Pittsburgh, you're thinking offensively it's hard to get touchdowns just in general, right? Especially recently, but now against the team who's playing well. If you score a touchdown here, Baltimore, I think it's really hard for them to go down and score twice to finish this game off, Jim.
Here's Lamar. Shakes off the tackle by Highsmith. Now flips it. Freeman on the ground has the catch. And he'll take it to about the 13. Again, chasing and chasing. They pick up 3.
There's almost no way not to be chasing Lamar Jackson. It's like he's completely comfortable holding on to the ball. But that's also why they take too many sacks sometimes.
They've taken already 4 in this one. And the Steelers could use another one right now on a 3rd and 4. Hayward returns, so does Watt for this 3rd down play.
Did you just call the sack right here?
No,
Did you?
I'll leave that up to you, partner. Here's the pass wide of the mark. And that'll bring out Tucker, intended for Freeman.
Now the throw's low and away. And watch the pressure by Watt. He had more time than that. I really wanted him to go inside, so watch, pause this right now. There, one-on-one, there's Andrews, throw it to him. Decided to go out to the other side. You got to go to your best players on 3rd down.
30-yard kick coming up for Tucker. 23 of 25 on the year. Oh, this would be a first down if it's against the Steelers.
The Steelers did everything right to get the ball back, give up only 3. 1 scored, no big deal at all.
Oh, what a call this is.
John Harbaugh, special teams coach Chris Horton, got a lot of history in their special teams.
Ball start on the offense, number 46, 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Make it a 35-yard kick.
That means it's got to be on the center, right? We keep seeing this more and more, Jim. The head bob, that's got to be what it is, because it looked like the defense moved. So the only thing is the head bob on the center right there. I would like to see this one. Let's see him this time, right? When he snaps this one, see if he head bobs. Let's see him.
Remember, we saw the same thing on Thanksgiving Day in Dallas. 35 yards, Tucker.
So watch this head right here. See if he does a head bob.
Kept his head down in the kick.
I would call it a penalty then, right? Because that's not normal. If he always head bobs up and then snaps, but if he just randomly does it then, false start.
7-point lead. Tucker kicks it. We're back at Heinz Field, which opened 20 years ago, 2001. The first broadcast of the NFL on CBS came here in Pittsburgh, 1956. I did not call the game, by the way. Washington at Pittsburgh. The venue was Forbes Field.
You're getting too good at this. You're starting to adjust very quickly on the fly. Sees the future.
You know, next week will be the 100th game we've called together. And that will be a big one next week, folks. Buffalo and Tampa Bay. Doubleheader window on CBS. This one's a good one here. 7-point game as McLeod runs it out to about the 21. This week, NFL players are wearing custom cleats in honor of the causes they support throughout with My Cause, My Cleats. Text MCMC to 635635 to hear the player stories. You can bid on their custom cleats for charity and learn more about how they're making a difference in their communities. It's a great thing.
It really is. Sometimes people don't hear about all the stuff that people are doing, you know, across the National Football League. A lot of people do a lot of good for their communities and the areas, and it's a great thing to see when you really look into it. It makes you really proud to be a part of it.
Players are passionate about this cause for sure. Chance to showcase what's important to them as far as on the philanthropic side. And Tracy, for more, down to you.
Well, Najee Harris faced a lot of adversity growing up. He was homeless when he was young, and they lived in and out of shelters. His mother, he said, was the rock that held his family together. When he was drafted, his first order of business was to create the Bigger Picture Foundation to help families like his. He hopes to assist underserved families reach their potential and goals. His cleats will be auctioned off to raise money for this cause near and dear to his heart.
Excellent. Thank you. Here's the throw. Caught by Johnson, who slips through a tackle and goes out of bounds after picking up the first. They spot him right on the first down yardage. Thought he might have gone a yard past it, but there's a look at some of the cleats. Belong to the likes of Najee Harris, who actually came into this week, Tony, just talking about him as a player. We met with him before. He's just an impressive young man who even Ben Roethlisberger says could be the best he's ever played with. And you think about the fact he's played with Jerome Bettis, Le'Veon Bell, had all those huge seasons. He really admires this young man. He actually led the league in touches for the season coming into this week. He gets another touch here, gets a running start. And he's going to have a pickup of about 5.
Well, this is the play right here. They run a lot of like zone reads and some other stuff, polars, but I like this. I like to hand him and have everyone just go forward, and if you do that, he'll fit the gap. He's like, where do I want to go, left, right, straight? And he can literally choose, so people don't have to be right every time, and I want them to do that more often. And there it is again, and it was a wonderful play.
Well, this time only for 1. Not exactly what you thought.
Well, that one, you can't do it because they blitzed, and you have too many guys, so that's never going to work.
They're going to go hurry up now. On third down, he's going up tempo.
He's looking out here. Can he throw a quick smoke to him?
There it is, Johnson. Able to pick up the first. Good call, Tony.
Yep.
Gain of 8.
Great job by Roethlisberger getting up there, seeing and just signaling. He can say, stay right there, run a slant or run a go. And he looks at the leverage and does it. You can see how quick that ball gets out. Good timing.
Johnson a little shaken up, comes out of the game.
Hey, Zito! Start!
Washington replaces him.
Blue 20! Blue 20!
Hand off to Claypool. Claypool picks up about 3. The big story in the Pittsburgh media this week was about Claypool. He made a suggestion. He thought that the Steelers might be a little bit better if they played music during practice. And Mike Tomlin was asked about that. He says, you know what? You play wide receiver, and I'll take care of the practice schedule. That's basically what he said.
Thanks for your input, Chase.
Hey, Lakers!
That'll be plan Z. We're going to go with plan A first.
56.
Claypool, a big talent up top. You're always trying to get him down the field goal routes. They do run him a little bit once in a while.
Johnson back in after sitting down one play. 2nd and 8. Incomplete. That whistle right past the likes of Bynes. Pass intended for Freiermuth. By the way, football's iconic show Inside the NFL is streaming Tuesdays at 9:30 on Paramount+.
Just a wonderful job by Bynes there. If you were looking from behind the defense, you would have seen him cover. Oh, that's a cool view right there. Look at that. He did a good job on that option route, covering up Freiermuth.
Got a 3rd and 8 again. Can they convert 2 straight 3rd downs?
Heavy Titan. Blue 80.
Freiermuth not going to have enough for the first, but they got a flag down. Stevens on the collision. And that's going to go against the Steelers. Offensive pass interference.
Well, it's PI on pass interference on 13 Washington.
Pass interference, deep offense, number 13. That penalty's declined. 4th down.
They're going to punt the football after that penalty's decline. 4th and 4 at the Baltimore 49.
So watch, you're going to see him come right across and come flying in. You're going to see a great job by 21, take an angle, and Stevens having to defend the whole field. Really well done, just taking an angle and making him stop short.
There's the punt by Harvin. Coming up for it. Duvernay makes the catch on his knees. Just a 26-yard punt. 3:36 to go. 3rd quarter.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Progressive. Save when you bundle auto, home, or motorcycle insurance. And by AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, and secure.
Two great sports towns with all kinds of history against one another. 50 years ago, the Pirates and the Orioles met in the 1971 World Series. Pittsburgh winning in 7 games. Now they're getting 78 too as Freeman is tripped up. Boy, he is showing a burst. You're right, Tony. You didn't see earlier in the year.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's go down to Tracy.
Well, Jim, you see Phillips in there at right tackle on the offensive line. That is because Patrick McCary right now in the locker room. He has a hand injury and he is doubtful to return.
So both of these lines, offensive lines, battered and bruised. Here's a 2nd and 8. That through the hands of Watkins. How odd, the only touchdown of this game came on a 99-yard touchdown drive. That's all we had. And how would you figure that would be the way they'd go about it? Nothing else to speak of. Here are the Ravens, who have scored precisely 1 touchdown in each of their last 3 games before today.
Both these teams, right? We thought about coming in. It's just like these quarterbacks, these offenses, got to protect the football, can't turn it over, and then always comes down to this, Jim, these big 3rd down plays at the end. Can they do it?
And they've been converting, and they've always had 3rd and long. 50% on the go. And that's Brown scooping it off the ground with his hands underneath it. They rule it a catch. Good job by Hollywood Brown for 17. Again, they convert. 3rd and 8.
And this is really because the protection was outstanding, allowed, and that's a catch.
Yep.
Good job getting down there like a second baseman.
3rd catch of the game for Brown.
I used to hate that. You know, when I was young, I'd sit there, here comes a ground ball, and I'm like, just get down in there, take it. If it hits something like a rock or something, it'll just hit you, get your body in front. I'm like, well, that's my face. Like, why do I have to? Can I just try and scoop it with? No, that's not the right technique.
You had to protect that. Here is the handoff to Freeman for 3 yards. Hey, we're talking about how strange this season is all around the league, but nothing stranger than what you look at with the Ravens. Listen to this music to accompany it. 3rd worst in the NFL, -8 that includes today, they have actually allowed more touchdowns than they've scored. And then they've won 2 of the last 3 again with only putting up 14 points a game. I mentioned 1 touchdown each of the last 3 games by the offense. So go figure. And that's the #1 seed in the AFC.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. And I got a question for you after this play.
2nd and 8. Got a hand on him. Oh, and they were able to double team, and Watt comes over to finish it off. It was Wormley who got to him first. He's having a big day. 3 sacks, as he points out. Loss of 2.
And it's a relentless effort. Watt right away with the bull rush. Good job with the backup right tackle coming in. And then he, tenacious effort just all the way back. And if they're going to get in the playoffs, it's always about that side, right? Starting off, giving your offense a chance, but they've got to stand up right now. They cannot give up a touchdown on this drive, Jim. I just don't think they can come back from that.
They'll be as tattered as that sign if they allow another one. 3rd and 10. Still keeping it alive, and Freeman almost makes the catch. Then he would have been near a first. My goodness, hold your breath every time. Watt and Sutton were putting pressure on Jackson and forcing him out of the pocket.
I thought he was going to have to throw us away 10 times.
I did too.
Somehow he gets back. But look at this. Everyone's coming. Everyone's coming. The ball has to come out right now, Jim. They're always going to have an extra guy. That's the cover 0, what Miami did. I think this year's going to help him dramatically going forward. The problem is that can bite you in the playoffs if you're not careful.
Got another flag down. It's going to pre-snap the Ravens.
Offense, number 17. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Holding Robert Jackson, we just brought up yesterday.
So we were talking earlier, my question for the strange birds.
Oh, yes.
You know, it was, is that a sign of a great team?
To overcome all of that?
Like, you're the #1
something.
seed? It's
yeah.
like, you got to be good to do it, or
to overcome adversities, plus all these 4th quarter comebacks, 5 of them on the season, double-digit comebacks 3 times. It's resiliency, and we know that. McLeod. And that's worth something, Tony.
You're exactly right. You don't think about the mental side of that, the ability to believe and have confidence despite all these stats going against you. It's like, no, we'll win it. Mental fortitude.
We've got an update. Back to JB and Boomer.
Raiders within 2. That's right. Josh Jacobs is going to take it out from 1 yard out, and Washington football team leads 14-12. The Raiders failed on their 2-point attempt. Back to Jim and Tony in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Raiders, thank you, fellas. Raiders trying to back up that overtime win on Thanksgiving Day. A wild one we saw in Dallas. And now this one with seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. 39 seconds.
I want to get back to that back shoulder over here.
After Johnson spins away. Stiff arm on Humphrey. And he gets to the 1st down marker.
Shows you the ability of Johnson right there. We've seen it. Everyone in the organization. He does everything well, right? Each of these guys has their own little niche.
I can remember when we met with Ben in Green Bay, week 4. He said, tell us about Deontay Johnson. He said, he's unguardable.
You can see right there, just a little 1-yard slant you can create. But once again, I want to see this go down here. You got to throw it. Give it to him quickly.
Jimmy Smith backs off of him, off of Claypool. 1 second to go in the quarter, and that's going to be it for the 3rd. Just a field goal on the board in that quarter, a Tucker field goal from 35. What else is new? Baltimore and Pittsburgh coming down to the 4th with so much riding on it here in Pittsburgh. We're back. The Ravens coming into the week, the #1 seed in the AFC at 8-3. The Steelers hanging on at 5-1. Here's a 2nd and 1. And they're able to stuff Harris. It looks like short of the 1st. Yes, it's going to be marked short. 3rd and 1 coming up. And we remind you, Wednesday on CBS, CSI is on the hunt for one of their own. Can they save their friend and protect the legacy of the crime lab? It's the season finale of CSI Vegas, Wednesday, 10, 9 Central, CBS. He's going to go up top for it. 3rd and 1. And he's got Claypool. He runs it into the Baltimore side of the field. inside the 50 and finally dragged down after what will be the biggest play of the game for the Steelers. 40 yards.
Take a look at this, Jim. They've been getting up here. Last time they ran the slant, but all of a sudden they're going to fake it. 3rd and 1. Everyone bites for Baltimore. Claypool comes across wide open, and really lucky for Baltimore, he didn't score with that much space. What a great design by Matt Canada, offense coordinator for the Steelers. They needed something, right? It's hard to come by these big plays.
Referees on the far side of the field, Tony, with a little summit. First play that went for over 30 yards for either team in this game. Might have had an official shaken up. And they are, in fact, going to take a little official break here in the action. The field judge, Mike Weatherford, appeared to, well, he limped off the field. We saw the replay of it. Looked like he might have pulled a muscle in his right leg. And we'll move some officials around as it's 1st and 10 now off that 40-yard pass play. Here's the pass down the field, and it's Johnson wide open for the touchdown. Deontay Johnson.
What a play! Deontay Johnson, go ahead and make it up. Watch this, Jim. Go ahead and play this. He's going to come from your right. Ben pump fakes, gives himself time and throws a strike.
And no one's there. He looks around. He can cruise in.
How did he get that wide open? Well, watch right here. It's going to be a little bit. Hey, we're passing it off, guys. Pass it off. No, we're not going to pass it off. Miscommunication. Huge play. Pittsburgh's playoff chances are.
Oh, no! That would have tied it right there. They missed the extra point. Boswell.
Wow.
Who had been 20 of 21 on the season. Harvin on the hold.
Oh, that was a bad kick. I don't think that had anything to do. I think he just pulled it. Well, they're back in the game. Playoff chances are still there now. What a big time design and play. Great throw by Roethlisberger, but that kick, oh.
Well, you just have two of the best. You got Tucker, who has had just an iconic career. Boswell, who has only missed 4 field goals over the last 3 seasons.
Wow.
Missing a PAT.
So look at that. I don't think it's blocked. I think he just yanked it.
No, he just didn't catch it right.
Is that close to a duck hook in golf?
You know, I've never hit one. You tell me.
Ben very seldom. Touche. Ben doesn't turn around and see a missed extra point very often by his kicker.
It's shocking, really. You look at these two guys as automatic. Boswell, one of the absolute best. But it's a 10-9 game with still 14 minutes to play. Duvernay finds an opening, finds a lane, pushes a blocker in front of him. What an excellent run back out to the 38. Saturday at 3 Eastern on CBS, the college football regular season concludes with one of the oldest and most respected rivalries in all of sports. The annual Army-Navy game, live coverage at 2:30 with College Football Today, a game of honor. Army-Navy, Saturday on CBS. Nothing like it. So a 35-yard kick return.
Went to Army.
He knows all about the magnificence and the majesty of that matchup. Again, Army-Navy next Saturday. Here we go on Sunday with 13:52 to go. Ravens holding on by 1 after the missed PAT.
Oh, boy.
Defense makes the play, holds them to 3. We go down to Tracy.
Jim, John Harbaugh told me at halftime Lamar must get the ball out quicker. They need to try and get the ball down the field more, and they haven't been able to do that. And there is definite frustration on the sideline. You can see it from Mark Andrews. You can see it from Marquise Brown. They've had constant conversation with Lamar Jackson, and they just can't seem to get on the same page. They know they need to fix this quickly.
Here's a 2nd and 7. Pump fake. now throws it deep. And a flag's coming out on Minka Fitzpatrick, who is absolutely furious. Hollywood Brown was the target.
Well, it's a trap coverage, which means that the
Pass interference, defense number 39. Ball be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic, first down.
That's a tough call because you got to be playing the ball. I mean, he grabs around. That's going to get called, even though it's tic-tac. But here he is. The ball's going to be trying to throw it right there, but the corner's going to come off, and Fitzpatrick's got to run deep, and he takes off. And at the end, you're so far behind, you really don't get a chance to play on the ball. And Lamar knows that's a huge play.
Only 41 yards by penalty. And it puts the football at the 18. Down the middle he goes, and through the back of the end zone. He's going back to Marquise Brown. Back to the studio, JP and Boomer.
A better looking Russ Wilson. Yeah, off of a Jimmy Garoppolo interception, Russell Wilson finds Tyler Lockett in the back of the end zone, his second TD pass of the day. Seattle takes the lead 30-23 over the 49ers. Back to you guys in Pittsburgh.
You're talking about a team that absolutely has to win today. Seattle. Meantime, got a 2nd and 10 in the red zone today. 3 trips, only 1 touchdown. That's Brown. Quickly on him to bring him down is Witherspoon. So 3rd down coming up. Okay, Tony, they have been on 3rd down most of the day. 3rd and outside of 6 to go. Now they've got a 3rd and 4 from the 12. What are you looking for here?
Well, the first thing is they did a good job getting into a manageable situation. So most teams, you're like they're passing. Baltimore can do anything they want right here. You can run it. You can fake a handoff. Quarterback keeps it. You can just throw the ball if you get the look. What happens is you line up and you say, where is everyone? Okay, now I get it. Let's go ahead and motion him. Fake this ball.
Here it is, running it out. Blockers in front of him, and there's nothing there. Bounced out by Fitzpatrick, and it's 4th and 3, and already Tucker is trotting out onto the field.
This really is an outstanding job on the outside, because this should be an easy first down, but the effort by 35 is the difference. Mollett.
He's limping a little bit after that. Here's Tucker. 4th quarter at overtime. Look at this. Made 55 straight field goals in the 4th or in overtime. And this is a mere 28 yards away. And the kick is good.
He's impervious to numbers being thrown at him.
You were just waiting for some sort of announcer's jinx there. No, not with him.
He literally, it's like Tiger in 2000, a 4-foot putt, and everyone else is nervous. You're like, he's not missing this.
Automatic.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Grey Goose Vodka. Vive le Martini. Allstate. Save money like a champion with Allstate. And by DirecTV Stream. Get your TV together.
Happy holidays to everyone. And we saw Lamar Jackson walking gingerly. Watch him step right here on the sticks and roll his right foot just a bit. Keep an eye on that.
Great job by our camera crews.
Don't miss anything.
Get everything around here.
Nick Arnold, Jim Rickoff, Ryan Galvin, the whole crew. Justin Haley, Eric Spitzer, the great Gov, doing a good job for us. Spitz. Brooke Weiss, James Perritzman, BAs, they're doing such a fine job all season long. And they're going to bring you now this 11:51 to go. Harris for 1. He has not the last couple of games, Tony, rushed for much. Only 62 yards rushing the last 2 games combined. They had that 4-game winning streak. They were running the football today, 13 for 36.
Yeah, and they knew it was going to be tough, but they still have to kind of do it. The problem I have is they don't play action. They're last in the league, 32nd. It's not part of what they do much. They have some RPO stuff, but I want to see play action. The time they did it today, that was their biggest game. They play action down 3rd and 2. All of a sudden, Claypool is wide open. I want to see more of that. It's just something you got to start to do.
2nd and 9. Fakes and looks and has Johnson, who breaks away. Oh, he slips right out of a tackle and picks up another big one. Got away from Averett, and Deontay Johnson bouncing back after that first half drop in a big fashion.
Yes, he is. And of course, it's play action, Jim. Fake the ball so no one else is over there to help. And then it's also the back shoulder that we wanted to go back. I thought they found at the end of the 2nd quarter. Bam, there's your combination. I love it. Keep going to it.
Goes for 25 yards. He's now got 6 for 91 and a touchdown. Back to Harris up the middle. Bouncing around and still not down. He's got 8, maybe 9.
Well, you play action a couple times, all of a sudden you can hand the ball off and things get a little more open because they can't completely trust if you didn't just go ahead and keep the ball. And forming a real drive right here, Jim.
I mean, after barely seeing the field in the first half, the offense possessing the football only 6.5 minutes in the first 2 quarters. The first half low during Tomlin's 15 years.
It's about even in this half, right? Yeah, there it is. That's pretty good. I just came up with that right off the top. Doing the numbers pretty fast.
You're a numbers guy.
I am. They called me a beautiful mind back.
I could see that.
They never did call me that, but that's okay. I'll pretend like they did.
6, man! Hey, 56.
Ron Howard needs to make a movie about you.
Yes, a very average mind.
2nd and 2.
Forms.
Back to Harris, stutter step, and he finds that little seam he wanted. Got the first down. So there's a nice flow to the offense right now, Tony.
Well, that's one where they just hold up. So when I say hold up, I mean literally they just give him the ball and let him get to whatever gap he wants.
Hey, Lakers! And Lenny.
You got Johnson at the top with Jimmy Smith on him. Claypool
Lenny.
has not been on the field on this series. Finds underneath the open man, Harris. Hurdles to within about a foot of a first. That was Smith, who we tried to climb over.
Check down.
No, he did.
Up to a jump.
Look at this.
To a fall down. What a jump. I mean, you can see the athleticism. That's why you were talking about what Ben said. He's special.
Hurry up now. They go up tempo. And they give it to Harris. Good enough for a first down. So the rookie starting to feel it too. Wink Martindale's defense. Yeah, this is where they really tighten up, though. Well, especially inside the 20. The best red zone defense in the league. Best 3rd down defense we mentioned a few times. Harris. Boy, he paused and waited. It looked like Le'Veon Bell back in the day. But Oweh was not going anywhere. No gain. Of course, that missed PAT affects the strategy here, Tony.
It does. You're exactly right. That's one of those things where, I mean, it's more than a little because you're now down a touchdown. A field goal does nothing for you as it gets later into the game, right? Right now, you can obviously still you'd kick it, but once you get around that 4, 5, 6 minute mark, it becomes, do we?
Benny Snell enters the lineup for the first time. Line up next to Roethlisberger. 2nd and 10. Timeout. Timeout at 7:59. He shakes his head because he knows he might need that one later. By the way, here's the lineup next week. I've already kind of teed you up on this one. We've been looking forward to this week all year long. The NFL and CBS doubleheader starts. Many seeing the Raiders-Chiefs is the primary early game, and then late, most of the nation. The Bills and the Buccaneers, Josh Allen and TB12 coming up. Starting at 12 noon Eastern with the NFL Today. That's next Sunday. Tony will be down in Tampa for that one.
It's going to be such a big game right there. I mean, both those teams have a chance at the #1 seed still. Buffalo's got a big one before that tomorrow night.
As you see the current playoff picture. Okay, back in the lineup is Harris. Out of that timeout. Able to get him back onto the field with the timeout. 2nd and 10. They go to him. 2 Ravens wait for him. Dives ahead for 3. Averett, the one who chopped them up. Okay, Ben pretty much going no huddle for a good part of this drive. It's where he gets a chance to improvise a little bit, go with the feel, what he's feeling. 3rd and 8. Down the sideline, and it's tipped. That was James Washington. I think he thought he was trying to prevent an interception more than he was trying to catch it.
Yeah, he was, and that was actually an interception just waiting to fall in the hands of Averett. But watch right out here. Ben's going to throw a go route, but watch the corner's technique. He turns and bails and looks at him, and because of that, he's able to have eyes on the ball. And Washington with an excellent job late, not allowing him to catch it.
Boswell comes back out, 43 yards to bring it back to 1. Boswell's kick is good. Bounce back field goal for Chris Boswell. 13-12, 7 minutes and change remaining. Always one of the pulsating moments in the NFL. Renegade played late in Pittsburgh as their Steelers are fighting for their season. Down 13-12 off a field goal a moment ago by Boswell. With just a little more than 7 minutes remaining here in the Steel City against the team right now that's perched atop the American Football Conference. There's the kick by Boswell, and it will be a touchback, and it gives us a chance to touch on something quite important, and that is Tuesday. Our man Tony will be inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame. Congratulations.
Snuck that in there on me. Thank you very much.
Well, look, here's just a little bit of the fact sheet. I'll never forget being there a year ago when Archie Manning personally told you, the head of the College Football Foundation, that you were going into the Hall of Fame. What a thrill. Congratulations.
It's what an honor. I'm so thankful. So many people help you get there. And you know how you get there? You have people step up on 1st and 10
right now
and show you how to get to the playoffs. This is a must-win for Pittsburgh. I really believe that. If they lose today, I think it's going to be very difficult to get in. They need their crowd. They got them going. What happens?
Pass incomplete. Intended for Sammy Watkins.
As silly as it is, this throw right here was made more difficult because Watt got his hand up and jumped around, but the crowd, the energy, the nerves, that plays a role.
Well, did you think there was energy in the building?
Yes. Combination of all that stuff, but that really, Lamar just barely misses there. Wide open wide receiver. Watkins and just missed him. 2nd and 10. Seasons are getting close to being on the line.
Duvernay shifting around. Jackson looks him off, and Watt has hold of him, and he'll not let him go any further. Sacks him at the 20.
TJ Watt, you want someone to step up, you play Renegade, get this whole place going. Our camera guy's shaking, but watch this. Push him back, Phillips, boom, throw him out of the way, Reggie White style. And he gets out of that sack a lot, but not when TJ Watt grabs you. And how big's the right tackle being hurt that Tracy talked about earlier?
That's huge. That's 6 times now that they've sacked him in this game. 2.5 sacks by Watt. Here's a 3rd and 15, and they're going to go deep. And it's knocked away at the last moment by Witherspoon. Andrews looked to have a step on him, but he made up ground at the last moment.
You'll see at the very end, Witherspoon comes flying into your screen. Wow, what a play right there. Witherspoon, and Andrews almost had a touchdown.
It would have gone. It would have gone the distance.
It really would have if the ball was maybe a foot. But it was a pretty good throw, just great play.
47-second possession for the Ravens. That's all they took off the clock. Low snap. Cook, unfazed, boots it away deep. McLeod gets by one, a second, and then pushed out the third time by Christian Welch. 57-yard punt. It's update time one more time. JP and Boomer in New York.
Washington looking for its 4th straight.
You know, they needed a field goal kicker, so they signed Brian Johnson this week. A 48-yard game-winning field goal. Washington goes on to beat the Las Vegas Raiders 17-15. Back to the guys in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that would be us. Thank you, Boomer. And that's 6-6 for both teams walking off the field. Ron Rivera and that Washington football team. Wow, what a story.
That division's not over. I mean, big win, obviously, by the Cowboys, but still a long season left. Those two teams are coming on, Eagles and Redskins.
There's Harris. Look at Harris. He's getting better as the game goes on. Picks up 7 or 8. It's a good drive starter. Now up to 56 yards on 18 totes.
30.
Nothing there. Roethlisberger tries to take off. What happened there, Tony?
Receiver to the top did not run the route, so up top, and this is why you get upset sometimes, because Claypool, it's a RPO. He can hand off or throw it, and he should have thrown it, but watch how long it takes. He's ready to throw. So by the time you're there, it's like, oh, no, it was actually Ben's fault because he's double teamed. Should have handed it off.
3rd and 2. 3rd and a big 2. Out of the backfield, they've got him. It's Gentry for the first down. Just his 8th catch of the season. Comes at an important time. Pick up a 5. And we've got an injured Raven. It's Bynes. Ben kind of shakes his head, chagrined. He's ready to go up tempo.
Every time he gets like one play, you can see he's always like, oh, really?
No,
they're getting hurt
really.
now that we just wanted to get up on the ball.
I'm not buying it, he's saying with his eyes. But it'll be a 1st and 10. Steelers at their own 44 with 5 minutes remaining.
We talked early in the game. Ben Roethlisberger, the criticisms, you know, people talking about is his last year, the game last week, a couple of old teammates saying stuff. He felt it. We saw him coming into this stadium. He looked locked in. I think if you told him going in, 13-12, 5:09 to go in the game, 2 timeouts, you got the ball around midfield, your season hangs in the balance, I believe. What are you going to do, Ben? I think he's going to show up right here, and he's going to actually do something, Jim, and show you he's not going away yet.
Well, he already has to a large extent. Gets it over to Johnson. Stutter step move on Smith, and he's got another 9.
You know, you feel that as a quarterback, and it's like, yeah, you may not be playing what you used to, right? You may not be as good as you once were, but you may be as good once as you used to be or you were. Oh, I was close to getting it.
It's just a foot away for a first. Kind of a free play here on 2nd and a foot. They'll run it, pick up the first down, and running into the secondary is Harris. Gentry threw a great block for him, the backup tight end. And this offense is hitting on all cylinders right now. That's a run of 13.
See how they all go forward? Like the line just takes their guys and rides them. If they go right, you go right, left. But that's their running play. I love what they're doing today. They should do it again, Jim.
And they go back to him. About 3 or 4. 4:15 to go. It's interesting here. You're down a point. You could actually work this out if you're able to move the chains to where you never give the football back to the Ravens. They have a chance to win it right at the wire if it times out just right.
You're exactly right. And to me, this is right about that time for Baltimore where I'm like, okay, there's still plenty of time. You got 3 timeouts. Anything in that 2-minute mark is all day. So Pittsburgh's just going to run their offense. Whatever it is that they give you, they're going to take. If they all pressure you with everyone, well, then you got to throw it, Jim.
They had 144 yards through the first 3 quarters, 157 in this quarter alone. That's Benny Snell. What a time to give him his first handle. And he's picks up a quick 5. So out yardaged in this quarter alone by 20 yards more than they had the first 3 quarters combined.
You're exactly right. And you see Leglue right there create a hole, and Freiermuth, the good blocking tight end, and obviously catching. But they're going forward, and they make you decide which side you're going, and the running back. I think they found their new running game going forward.
Now with 3 minutes to go, 3rd and 2.
I would take a timeout if I was Baltimore if I got to stop. If it's 4th down here, I would make them have to make a decision then.
Going up top for it. Pass broken up, and a flag is thrown as it's intercepted by Queen. That was Johnson, the intended target. There might be a pass interference call here against Baltimore.
It is, because it looks like an interception, but it ain't, because it's a hold. And you can see it clear as day up here.
Pass interference, defense, number 13. Ball be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic, first down.
Well, Averett 23 is going to hold. It's a hitch route. Ben fires it in there, but you're going to watch the pole right at the top. Right there. He can't get free because Averett's holding on to Johnson.
It's the right call.
It is 100% the right call there. A few of the other ones today, meh.
So, with 2:45 to go, this crazy AFC North, the Bengals having lost already today, the division leaders, the conference leaders, leading by 1 in this one. Pittsburgh at 5-1, can control it here with 2:45 to go. They got Snell back in the lineup on a 1st and 10 from the 21.
They're daring them just to keep running it right up the middle.
That's what they do. It's Snell. What a run. Running behind Moore, the left tackle, and he picks up 8.
This is an unbelievable job by the left guard and left tackle. Watch him move right here. Campbell, watch this at the very end now. They're going to keep going. Watch. Pushing all the way down. It was actually 65 who did it. It was Moore all the way through. Wow.
Yeah, Moore with a huge block. They can actually run this down
They will.
to the 2-minute warning. And Baltimore still holding on to his 3 timeouts.
Yep.
Thumbs up from Ben.
We talked about this, the pride of Pittsburgh. They've been able to impose their will in December in years past and do that. Can they do it today? We said, we'll see. They've done it so far. They got a chance.
Terrible towels are out in full force. Steelers trying to win it at the end.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Verizon, the official 5G network of the NFL, and by Nissan, premier partner of the Heisman Trophy.
We come out of the 2-minute warning. Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, and Tracy Wolfson. John Harbaugh, Lamar Jackson can only watch the Steelers putting together some drive. They've had it for 4:20. Trying to set up a winning score. And on 2nd and 2, the Ravens jumped. And they'll whistle it dead as Clark was across that line before the ball was snapped.
Yes, and that's going to be an offside. But Ben wanted the play to keep going, but they unabated to the quarterback. They're going to stop and protect you. But he really wanted that to keep going, so he had a free shot at the end zone.
Offside. Defense number 36, unabated to the quarterback. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Yeah, a little offside, I think. It was close. Should we watch that again in slow-mo to see if he got it?
You're not so sure. But the point here now is you've got a 1st and goal at the 8. You got Harbaugh with all 3 of his timeouts. And let's see how the Steelers handle this. They bring in Derek Watt, their fullback.
Well, the biggest thing you're doing as Baltimore right now is you're going to be more aggressive than less aggressive, right? So it's okay. If you give up touch, you give it up quickly. But you really don't have to send all out pressure right now. You have all 3 timeouts. You have plenty of time. If you get this back with a minute 35, even if you gave up a touchdown.
Here's the give. Harris swallowed up behind the line. That was big baby Brandon Williams on a loss of 2. And the quick timeout. First by the Ravens.
And this is what we talk about with people actually like playing aggressive but not sending everybody. This is a free safety. This is going to come up here in a minute. It's a handoff. He's supposed to stay back and let everyone else go get the run. But see how fast he's down in there? You can use that against him on this play, right? When you go to the sideline as a quarterback. I just saw that. I'm going to say, hey, coach, let's fake that one now and just have the guy, the receiver, run right where he just left.
Let's see if the Steelers saw what you just saw. 2nd and goal.
And obviously, they're trying to work the clock, but I think it's more important to score. Does he come down on a play action quickly? Because if he does, someone could get there.
Blue 80! Listen!
He's going to fake it. Going to look. Finds his man, and he's down to the 6. That's it. Gentry with a 2nd catch on this drive. And it was Brandon Williams who tackled him down. Now you got 3rd and goal and a 2nd timeout utilized by Baltimore.
It's a good call. Play action on it. Yeah, I didn't love just being safe and running it again. I would have done that on 1st down because that's the time you know they're selling out, right? 2nd down, it's like, okay, they're 3/4 hit. But
hey, you only get a field goal here. And like I say, they've got a chance to use another timeout, and you've got Tucker on the other side.
And you know this. They keep coming back this year, Baltimore, right? You know they can do it.
They've done it 5
Regardless of how
times.
the games go, they just keep finding a way at the end. You got to score a touchdown here, go for 2. I think Pittsburgh, I'd be aggressive, and I would throw the ball. If they leave you one-on-one outside here,
That's Claypool.
and throw it right away.
Here's a 3rd and goal. Roethlisberger waits, now throws, and he's across for the touchdown. Deontay Johnson.
This was an unbelievable route by Deontay Johnson. I mean, he's so wide open, Jim. Watch this route. It's a slant. It's a slant. Nope. Puts his foot in the ground, and Humphrey had to go over the top of Freiermuth. It's a natural pick, but look at that play. What a design play. Yeah, I'd do that too, actually. Go to the guy who's uncoverable, Ben said.
Right. And 2 touchdowns for Johnson in the 4th quarter, and of course they will go for the 2. So Johnson from 29, and then that one a moment ago from 5 yards out. Timeout called by the Steelers before this 2-point attempt. How about Deontay Johnson?
You're not kidding. Big time.
He's turned into one of the best in the league.
By the way, this is one of Ben's better games. I mean, he's had plenty, right? But this is a really solid game against a really formidable opponent. We know number 1 in 3rd down. Number 1 in the red zone defense, right?
That's right. That was the first time, by the way, in this game that Pittsburgh was inside the 20. It was our first red zone trip.
Wow.
Because the touchdown to Johnson came from outside, came from 29 yards out. But the point is, it is one of Ben's finest hours of this season.
Exactly. He needed it today, too. We talked about it. Can he do it? Got to stand in there, take hits. And now the play, really, this is huge.
To go up 7. If they convert. Ben, open man, and it's caught. Freiermuth, the recipient of the 2-point pass. And the Steelers have put up now 17 4th-quarter points.
Ben Roethlisberger with an incredible finish to this game. Watch this throw. This was not as easy as it looked. He had to actually throw over. Go ahead and play that. Now pause it right now. He has to throw over Patrick Queen right there and get it down before 22 can get out there, Smith. It looked easy. It was not. Timing of it was exact. That's why it could be the behind shoulder, back shoulder. Wow.
Well, you look at some of the skill positions in Pittsburgh. They've got the tight end position locked up for years. They've got a star number 1 receiver in Deontay Johnson, and we know Claypool hasn't shown the talent this year that we saw last year. And you got a running back in Harris, and you got Ben trying to show everybody he's still got a whole lot left, and he has today shown us just that.
The biggest thing is they need to get this offensive line, you're going to allocate your resources into this going forward, right? This organization knows that. They got to get back that they've been so solid for so long. If that offensive line, you just said, these other guys, wow, watch out. I mean, but these guys are young. It's a long season right now. It's hard on them week to week.
Here's the kick, and takes a awkward bounce, and that is damaging to the Steelers' cause. It goes out of bounds.
That is so huge.
And they'll be able to bring the football up to the 40.
Ball be placed at the 40-yard line. First down.
So, forget about having to go 75 yards. Only got to go 60. Tonight on CBS Begins with 60 Minutes, and the whistleblower named reality winner, and her first TV interview, followed by the national Christmas tree lighting and the 23rd annual A Home for the Holidays at the Grove, plus NCIS Los Angeles. That's tonight on CBS. So the drive begins at the 40 with 1:48 to play. Dump it underneath. Schobert is on Freeman in a hurry. Ravens still do have, remember, one timeout in their pocket.
A lot of time, but you're going quick. I mean, this is one of those where you're not worried about getting out of bounds or anything now. You're just snapping the ball quick, get the ball out of your hands. Man-to-man coverage.
Here's Jackson stepping up and slinging his sidearm. We got a flag and whistles.
Movement on the offense, probably. I mean, what else are they going to call right here? Timeout. I mean, it looks like it's just going to be a receiver moving, right? False start on 12.
False start. Offense. Number 12. It's a 5-yard penalty. Second down.
That's Rashad
By
Bateman.
rule, the false start under 2 minutes. We run 10 seconds off the game clock. Need to set the game clock to 1 minute, 22 seconds.
And that's 8 pre-snap penalties into 10 seconds. Obviously, that's significant.
They could have used the timeout, but I like this. Don't waste it right there. It's a 10 seconds, I understand, but that timeout's going to be more key going on. You got to get rid of this ball when they keep coming after you here, Lamar.
2nd and 10. They're on him, and the ball comes out. It's running to the sideline. It'll be Baltimore retaining possession, stripped away by T.J. Watt, but the flags will check those.
This usually is going to go against the offense for a hold late, and it's usually going to be on whoever's blocking T.J. Watt, Jim. I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's the right tackle.
Holding. Offense. Number 78. Penalties decline. 3rd down.
Decline, moving along.
They called it a Villanueva, but point is, they are getting after Lamar Jackson as they have all day long with 6 sacks.
He's got to get the ball out. We keep saying it. When they're coming after you, teams are doing this. I know he can create and do that, but people are open.
The city of Pittsburgh stirred to a frenzy. Their Steelers fighting for their season.
You can tell your quarterback, Lamar, you don't have to get 14 yards here. You got 2 downs. Be patient here, but take what they give you. If they pressure, get it out. Otherwise, create.
On 3rd and 14. He's got time here, and he's got an open target. It's Brown. As they try to strip it from him, Millette and Fitzpatrick unable to do so. And the ball spotted at the 42. Gain of 22 and a first down.
Big time play and throw. Have a guy run through. Get rid of it. You can come back and do the same thing. I'd start to look for Andrews now.
There's Duvernay. Duvernay somersaults down at the 23, and they continue to preserve that timeout. Nope, now they take it.
Ooh. John
Harbaugh runs onto the field to take it.
Ooh.
With 18 yards picked up on that play.
You definitely use it when you have these timeouts. You see 13 in the middle of the slot. Good move. And that's Lamar's eyes. The reason why 35 all of a sudden Millette moved to the other way was because he got looked off by Lamar. That's a gift of his. He can use that. Big time drive. I can't believe we doubted he would get him in this position.
Well, think about it. Just two plays ago, they were facing 3rd and 14. And now all of a sudden, 2 plays later, they pick up 40 yards and they're at the 24.
No pressure on the last 2. I think that's about to change.
Exactly. Keith Butler's defense may bring it. Let's see.
That guy's going to go wherever Lamar goes.
Here comes it. Norwood in on him. That's Watkins. Slipping past Fitzpatrick. And he's down to the 10. Remember, the clock cannot be stopped.
This is huge right here. All of a sudden, he actually beat the coverage, all-out pressure. That was big. You got to get this ball snapped. It's not even important. Just get lined up and snap it. Throw a fade over his head. You could have already clocked it. But now you got to run a play. Get set.
Here we go with 22 seconds. Jackson's pass intended for Andrews. And the clock now at 20 seconds. 10 yards out.
Lamar Jackson's going to want this back. He should have won the game right here. Everyone comes. He should throw this ball right here to Mark Andrews. Throw it.
Just too late.
Just too late. And Mark should have slowed up a little bit, too, to help the window, right? But that combination, if they don't win, oh, that was the play.
Ball actually at the 11.
You're trying to get the ball into the end zone or out of bounds, Jim. You can still get and clock the ball if you throw it underneath your back.
Out of the gun, here's the pass, and out of bounds with the catch is Watkins at the 6-yard line. That took 4 seconds. Gain of 5.
That was a great throw. It's not as easy as it looked right there, a simple out, but you know the defense is getting a little prepared for it. They can get jumpy. Now it gets really close to you. You can check the ball down. I wouldn't. At this point, it's into the end zone or out of bounds, Jim. You got 2 plays, quarterback.
5 times this season, the Ravens have come from behind in the 4th quarter. Now with 16 seconds to go against their biggest rival. Down 7.
Here it goes, Jim. Lamar Jackson, you got people over the middle of the field. Take your time and throw it to him.
He's got protection. Got all kinds of time. He throws, and Watkins has it for the touchdown.
He recognized the defense. He was patient, took his time, and threw it right over the middle of the field. That's where the weakness is there. And this was a big-time throw by Lamar Jackson. And I wish they would go for 2. I want to see this game end right here, one way or another. I want one team. But they're going to kick it, obviously. But I wish that they would go for 2. That would make it fun.
Well, they are going to go for 2.
Yes.
You wanted it, Tony.
This is it.
You got it. How about this? Oh, my goodness.
John Harbaugh has the guts, I tell you.
That is something else.
He's a riverboat gambler. I love it.
You saw the signal by Tomlin. He says, hold on a minute. I got to make sure my defense is ready for this.
Take a look. Who was in?
They had Ricard coming in at fullback. They had Duvernay and Watkins.
Let me see what kind of neat trickery. Now the kicker's out on the field.
Yeah, he's just out there eyeballing it, and just in case they call on it, going through the visionary game. But here comes Mark Andrews. That's the guy to watch. Oh, what a gutsy call.
I love it.
What a gutsy call.
I think most people go, these 2 coaches, this is why they've been here so long.
30th time.
This is the rivalry. Ben Roethlisberger. I think your season's on the line right here, Pittsburgh fans.
Here we go. 30th time between Tomlin and Harbaugh. What a decision this is. The game hinges on one play. Jackson flings it. Andrews can't get to it. Could not reel it in. Incomplete.
Unbelievable. It was a great play call. Andrews is open. Lamar, though, has the great T.J. Watt in his face. It's not an easy throw. The ball just has to be flicked with a little bit of height. Oh, and it's 1 inch from Baltimore, going to 9-3, but instead, the Steelers are alive.
He was right there. It was there for the taking. So much hinging on a matter of a pass being just a bit too far wide.
And the crazy thing is, even if it was 1 more inch, right, he could have tipped it to himself even.
Which he's done. We showed it earlier. He's done it so many times before. You got the onside kick coming up. Let's not call it final here by any means, because 1 recovery and 1 kicker named Justin Tucker. Andrews knows, oh my goodness, how close can you get?
Okay, here's a question then. It's a good point. If they get this onside, can Justin Tucker, who has as big a leg as anyone, can he kick it from wherever they get it?
No, they'll have to go into formation. They have to back him up. And
well, I'm saying if they got this at the 50.
Free kick?
No, I'm saying if they got it at
yes,
the 50.
He's already made 66-yarder to beat Detroit this year.
But from today on this field in this conditions?
And I don't know. 10 yards, you're talking 55, you're talking 73 yards. Here's the kick, and it's recovered. It's recovered by Norwood. The Steelers are going to get the victory.
What a win. And by the way, just subtly on the other side, that was an unbelievable kick. He just had it.
He just kicked it. Tucker just kicked it with his left foot.
Backwards.
Oh, my goodness. This drops Baltimore back into the 3 spot at the moment. New England assumes the top seed with its game tomorrow at Buffalo. There you see the Steelers very much alive at 6-5-1, a half game behind the final playoff berth. Watch this kick. That's the old Tony Fridge kick of long ago with the Dallas Cowboys that worked in a playoff game at San Francisco. The Austrian kicker. And there's a kneel down and a victory for Ben Roethlisberger. What a warrior he is. Second guessed by even former teammates on a lot of hot takes who are off the Christmas card list. He gets a victory today.